Hey gamers, welcome back to the channel. Today in DC Dark Legion, yes, we're going to talk about a team tier list. This is the beginning. This is part one, as you saw in the thumbnail. We have a part two that will be coming, but right now I want to focus on a specific set of teams, talk about how we tested them. We did this on stream, had a great time. This was a lot of fun, and I think people might enjoy seeing this type of content when this is a game all about not just individual characters, but full teams and how useful they are in different game modes. So let's get into it. All right, and welcome back. All right, so this team tier list, before we get to the spreadsheet and everything, you guys all know I love spreadsheets. It's the only thing I can really do. I can't do the graphics. But hey, if anybody out there wants to help me create graphics for this game, please let me know. I think that would be awesome. But until then, I got spreadsheets. All right, so let's take a look at this. In this game, there's a lot of questions around who are the best characters, who are the worst characters, which teams are best to build. Can I build a good Arkham's Most Wanted team if we've got Catwoman all the way down at the bottom of the tier list? So what I wanted to do was start testing teams. We did this in a stream previously. If you haven't seen the stream, I'll put a link up to it right over here. You can see all the testing that we did. What I like to do when I test is I like going into the same environment over and over, making little shifts with teams and things like that, even gear and things just to kind of optimize gear in this game. You don't have to worry about that so much, at least for now. So we went into combat cycle quite a bit. We started off in training simulator. That didn't work out too well. So then we went into combat cycle, and I do a lot of testing in combat cycle, not just teams, but also individual characters, just to see their effectiveness. For attackers, for all the damage dealers, it's about how much damage they do. Support, it's about how much do they boost the damage of the other team, or how much do they heal. And as far as tanks go, it's survivability, how long can they last, what kind of crowd control or additional help to the team can they provide, how much damage can they soak up. So there's a lot that you can get out of it. So we had a lot of fun. It was like a 3-hour stream, had a great time. And then, so we just started talking about the amount of damage that these teams do. So what I did is I went into here and I went into strategy guide, and this is what we looked at. We looked at all of these individual teams first. So part one of this tier list is taking a look at these specific teams and ranking them. Not just these teams though, but making adjustments to each one of these teams to find out which full team configuration, so 5 Justice League, 5 Arkham Most Wanted, 5 Bat Family, right? There are only 5 Bat Family, but finding out which ones are the most effective that we were able to find, whether it was most damage or survivability or what. We really looked at the damage for CC cycle, combat cycle. So that's part one. Part two of this is going to be looking at plug and play teams. And if you want to help out, if you want to be a part of that, I have a stream coming up. Depending on when you're watching this video, it's April 1st. So it's not an April Fool's joke, but April 1st, 2025. I have a stream coming up this weekend on what? April 5th, 2025. If you're watching this 10 years down the road, hey, you missed it. But hey, we are going to be testing plug and play teams. That's going to be part two. So now that we have this out of the way, we're going to go into the plug and play teams. But let's talk about these and what we did for each one of these. We're going to go ahead. We're going to switch on over to the Excel spreadsheet. Let's talk about each one of these individually and where I feel their strengths are, as well as where there's some room for opportunity and probably why some of the teams ranked lower than other teams. So let's switch over there. All right, so here we are. Let's take a look at how I got everything broken down really quick before we get into the actual teams. So we have full team tags here. What this is every character on the team has to have at least one tag in common so that we have a 5-character tag benefit there. And then we have the team, of course, and then tag 1, 2, and 3. Tag 3 is really going to come into play once we do the plug and play teams because you can get up to 3 tags. Just by mixing and matching the characters. So let's talk about first, we're going to start with C. We have Birds of Prey. Birds of Prey ended up at the bottom. And like I was saying, we were testing in the combat cycle which configuration of the team was the most effective. We found that a 2 support team here for Birds of Prey was the most effective. So we've got Catwoman, Vixen, Ivy, Harley Quinn, and Batgirl. With that, you have a plus 24% to lifesteal. You also have the Weapon Master, which gives you an additional 10% to your attack. One thing I think with Birds of Prey is we've got Hawk Girl coming. I think Hawk Girl is going to energize this team a little bit. At least I'm hoping. Give them a little bit more damage, a little bit more teeth. Very curious to see what kind of kit that Hawk Girl has. She should be coming out this week as of the recording of this video, so we should be able to figure that out. And when we do the plug and play testing coming up, we can plug and play her into the Birds of Prey, see how she affects that team. But that is who we have right now at the bottom, Birds of Prey. Next is Bat Family. I think the biggest problem with Bat Family is they have no healer. So we do have Batman, Red Hood, Robin, Red Robin, and Batgirl. So with the Bat Family tag, you get plus 24% to crit. You also have Weapon Master at plus 15% to the attack. With that, you're going to see these different percentages here, and that's just because it's whether it's 3 or 4 different members. They have more members of that specific tag that increases the boost to attack. And as you can see, or as you'll see, this whole second tag is mainly Weapon Master for these ones. So that's Bat Family. They really need a healer in there. Also, Red Robin did get a little bit of a buff, so it did move him up on the single tier list, but I don't think it really did enough. I don't think it really helped too much. Batgirl, obviously, for some additional damage. Robin doesn't do fantastic. They could boost him up a little bit. Red Hood, again, he's got the problem. He jumps in the middle of battle and he dies. He needs to jump into the middle of battle, do his attack, and then maybe jump back. Maybe do something about that a little bit. And Batman doesn't really do great outside of a Justice League team. So for that reason, also did minimal damage. Just really didn't do much. I put them at C as well. Next is B. We're into the B tier, Justice League. So here's the thing with Justice League. We've got Batman, Green Arrow, Green Lantern, Superman, and Cyborg. That was the team that gave us the best result in Combat Cycle. With that, with the Justice League tag, we get attack and HP increase by 20% and 10% respectively. And then we do have the Weapon Master again, which gives us a plus 10% to attack. I think here's the challenge with Justice League. The only healer that Justice League has is Green Lantern. Green Lantern is behind a paywall. Now, Mara used to have a Justice League tag way back when, so she was able to fill that Justice League healer role, but they took that away. Not sure why, but they took that away, so there's really no healer here. So free to play, probably not the best team to put together right now. Batman definitely does much better in a Justice League team, as we talked about. Green Arrow is always great. Superman is always great. And then obviously Cyborg just really helps with increasing the damage of the team. So it works out pretty well if you've got Green Lantern. But even at that, they were only at B tier. They didn't do as much damage as some of these other teams we're going to talk about. Next, Legion of Doom. So these next two are a little bit of a surprise to me. I figured that they would be a little bit lower. But Legion of Doom came in next. So we got Scarecrow, Lex, Sinestro, Deathstroke, Black Adam. With that, you got the Legion of Doom tag with energy restoration at 24%. And then you have Weapon Master with a plus 10% to attack. They did pretty well. I think when you take a look at some of these, Sinestro is fantastic. He's an S tier character. But when you surround him with this team, they just don't do too well. They don't hold up too much. Deathstroke requires so much investment to really make him good. Black Adam, he does all right. But again, this team here, there is no healer on this team as well. Even with that, though, they did better than Justice League, who had a healer. Anyway, so Scarecrow, pretty good. Lex does that damage across the screen to do some nice AoE damage. They did pretty well. So they came in at a B. Next is Arkham's Most Wanted. This was actually pretty cool to see. We did a couple configurations, added Penguin in here as well, but Joker, Two-Face, Scarecrow, Ivy, Catwoman, that worked out pretty well. We did get some nice damage. They were just a little bit under Justice League Dark, so if you've been following the tags, we just have the one left to go. Joker does great as always. Two-Face, I think with him, what works well for him is he's got some nice AoE damage. He's also got a spiritual damage debuff, which helps Joker with his damage. You got Scarecrow with spiritual damage as well. Obviously, Ivy with some nice heals and some damage. Catwoman, we've got her in 2 teams right now, and she did okay. She did all right. So with that Arkham Most Wanted tag, you have effect accuracy plus 30%, which really helps Scarecrow and Joker. Also, Two-Face helps him quite a bit as well. You've also got Weapon Master at attack at plus 12%. So pretty good, actually. Like I said, Sprice. We skipped A tier, actually, and we went to S tier. S tier, we had Justice League Dark. Fantastic team with Zatanna, Raven, Dr. Fate, Wonder Woman, and Constantine. No way to reconfigure that team. That is the team right now. They did the most damage. You got Spiritual Amp there to increase spiritual damage plus 30%. And then you have Energy Wielder here, which gives them a plus 12% to HP. Now with this, Zatanna is great at 0 stars, but at 5 stars, obviously even better. At 5 stars, she increases spiritual damage for the Justice League Dark team. Constantine, fantastic damage. You've all seen the type of damage she can do. Wonder Woman with some crowd control. She can also absorb quite a bit of damage. She's got a nice stun. Dr. Fate with his shields. Raven, I think, is the weak link on this team. I can actually put Mara in here and do better with the team. So when we start talking about plug-and-play teams, we'll start talking about that a little bit. But Raven does okay. She's still, just by looking at the testing and everything that we did during that stream, it just solidified her as the lowest ranked healer. And I think we have her in the right spot as far as tier list, as far as that goes. So there you go. That is the tier list that I have put together so far. Again, we used Training Simulator in the very beginning of that, but mostly focused on Combat Cycle and how effective they were in there. And it was with Devastator specifically. We know that that's not going to be the case for every single Combat Cycle boss, because we know for like the new tank, and we have the Drowned, where your ranged heroes are going to do much better there. So it's just, I don't know. I thought it was fun. It was cool to get it put together, and I'm excited to continue with this list. Again, part 1, we got part 2 coming with some plug-and-play teams. Very curious. What do you think about this? And for the next video, what are some plug-and-play teams that you really like or you would like to see tested? Because we were taking requests and things like that on Saturday as well, seeing what kind of team configurations people would like to see so that we can test them and rank them eventually. So, I don't know. I'm rambling on. There you go. That's the tier list. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. As always, I thank you all for taking the time to watch the video. If you liked it, make sure to hit that like button and share your thoughts and questions in the comment section below. Take care, everybody, and we'll talk to you next time.